It's the holiday season, kicking right off here, and I want to ensure that you are best positioned for productive conversations, connecting conversations, because a lot of people have been holding off on having that talk with family members all year. Could be your spouse, kids, sibling, parent. There could be a major repair that's needed, and maybe it's not your fault, and maybe that doesn't matter. But what does matter is what you can do about it. You can control you. And in order to get the outcomes that you want, we're going to do a little daily persuasion. A number of years ago, 2.5 years ago specifically, I wrote something up that I'd like to share with you now because I think it will be useful to you. And it covers some manipulation tactics that most people think are relationship skills. We would like you to persuade instead. Manipulation is I win, you lose, but I trick you into thinking you're winning until I can get away with your loss. Persuasion is an authentic, straightforward win-win. It's reciprocity. I understand that you want this. I want this other thing. Let's trade. that's persuasion, as opposed to again manipulation. Manipulation is anything coercive, anything threatening, anything deceitful. So let's cover these now, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do instead. So instead of saying, "I can't let you do that," I recommend you say, "I see you wanting to do that. Where can we do that safely? How about over here?" The other person will respect you for redirecting their energy in a productive way. It's better to be a helper than a stifler. Instead of, "I promise it won't be that bad. Come on, you just have to try it." Say, "I like it a lot. You might too. If not, that's okay." Because people want to be free to choose and to choose not to. Instead of, "We're not doing that. Period." You can say, "I'd rather not do that, but I'm glad to do this instead with you. How does that sound?" Because forced teaming assumes you call the shots and the other person has no agency. What you might be getting at here is leadership versus command and control being the boss. I'm in charge here versus I can help you because I'm in the position of strength, knowledge, foresight, wisdom, leadership. This is what leaders do as opposed to bosses. Now, you want to be respected. You don't necessarily want to be liked. So this is not about trading respect for likes. Maybe too literally there. It is about being the type of person who inspires loyalty and motivates demotion. Is that the right word? I suppose you could say demotion. Self-demotion in order to give you what you want. People will willingly give up what they have. Okay, it does work. Devotion is what I was going for. But demotion actually works there. Coming back to our manipulation versus persuasion communication in relationships, instead of, "If you don't come now, we're leaving without you," you can say, "What do you need to be able to come with us? You're not going to leave without your kid or your spouse." Empower them instead. Instead of, "Why are you watching this? This is stupid, silly, dumb, cringe." Say, "I noticed you watching that earlier. Was it any good?" Because criticizing someone for what they're watching makes you a critic, and nobody likes, respects, or trusts a critic. What we're getting at is micromanaging here, the relationship. A lot of people I'm finding believe that in order to force people to respect you, you must micromanage them. That just simply builds resentment. Anything you would be getting out of them would be manipulation. They're already losing. A lot of people want to spike the football on those that they want to persuade. No, you just want them to do what you want them to do. And they'd be happy about it, even think it's their idea. And you think telling people what to do in command and control relationships is going to get you that? Are you insane? Instead of, "I don't deserve how nice you're being," say thank you. This is the other end. This is pseudo humility. It's a tip off for insecurity. Insecure people feel they have to manipulate genuine kindness out of others. Insecure people act like the boss, like they're in charge. Like, "I need you to validate me. I need you to tell me that I'm in charge so I feel like I'm in charge." No, you just act like you're in charge. What does someone who is in charge and cannot be threatened from that position do? I think of that scene in I want to say it's Fargo, probably not it. I want to say it's North by Northwest, probably not it. It is a scene with Cary Grant, I believe. Classic film from the late 40s, early 50s. There is a recently divorced woman at a cafeteria in the Swiss Alps, I believe. She's drinking a beverage, hot beverage. There's a small child that comes up and interrupts Cary Grant and the woman. Go ahead and post in the comments what movie I'm talking about, because most of you already know. Somehow, I'm not the one who doesn't have that information. And the child pulls out his water pistol. He starts blasting Cary Grant in the face with it. And it's cold out there. It's cold. The kid's bundled up. The woman's bundled up. Cary Grant's not. So obviously he's cold. And he just stands there having a conversation, making almost no face, no reaction, no freak out, totally holding his composure in his frame, continuing the conversation as the child is blasting him in the face with the water pistol. Cary Grant is a man's man. Most men nowadays would have a public freak out moment that goes viral as a result of the child blasting him in the face with a water pistol at the top of a snowy capped mountain. Cary Grant just stands there, no reaction whatsoever, and when the child is done and waltzes away, he makes a funny remark, grabs a napkin and wipes his face, and continues the conversation as if nothing ever happened. That's who I want to be. That's how you want to be. Imagine if you had that kind of composure in relationships. What would a woman's reaction be? An attractive young woman's reaction be to you as a man? Now, I know 85% of my audience is male, so I can say that. I know that from the analytics. Wow, that man, it must be a good father. That man would make a good father. Butterflies are fluttering when you react that way. That is leadership. That is leadership of self. That is who you want fathering your children. All warfare is based on conception. And the greatest battle to win is against your own urges as a man. Learn persuasion, learn leadership, learn Cary Grant. We continue. Instead of, it's fine, really, it's fine, everything's fine, say, I feel X. That could be because of Y. Because those you love deserve the truth. Own it. If you're upset, it's okay to think out loud about why. It's not okay to cast eggshells on the floor and demand a dance. That's insecurity. That's the anti-Cary Grant. Now, we know he had some shenanigans in his personal life, but what we're going for here is the model. Instead of, this is so like you, you always do this, say, what makes you say that? Get curious, de-escalate. You may know what's wrong and why the other person is triggered. This doesn't give you the right to make it worse. Do you want to persuade? Or do you want to feel like you're right and the other person supplicates? That's not going to happen. Especially not if you're a man trying to convince or persuade a woman. Good luck with that, bucko. Instead of, I'm going to be very unhappy if we don't do it this way, say, I like to do it this way. Does that work for you too? Because no man is an island, nor are you the center of the universe. Consent is better than a bulldozer. Remember the Andy Griffith show? Sheriff Without a Gun? Why the sheriff doesn't carry a gun? There's a famous line in one of the episodes where Andy says to Barney Fife, deputy played by Don Knotts, I don't carry a gun because if a sheriff wears a gun, the respect he thinks he's getting might really be fear. Do you want to be respected or do you want to be feared? Now, this is different from being liked. Not do you want to be respected or do you want to be liked? Because think about the situation with the water pistol. Does this woman like this man for getting shot in the face with a water pistol? The like has nothing to do with it. Respect is everything. The way that man responds getting shot in the face with a water pistol is a microcosm of authoritative masculinity. That guy's in charge of himself. Nothing can faze him. He's unflappable. I think of the image of Donald Trump getting shot in the ear, standing up, waving his fist, fight, fight, fight. That's composure. That's leadership. It has nothing to do with being liked. Different emotions. Instead of saying, you really hurt me, say, I'm feeling hurt right now about X. I think I need Y. Notice how we're saying, instead of I am, this is, you did, it's all about the feeling and perception. Especially if you're a man, and 85% of you are, you're talking to a woman, it's best if you use the language of feelings, because that's their language. Speak their language. That's persuasion. Don't speak Spanish to an English-speaking person, and that's all they speak. Your feelings are your own. To externalize them to another person is to give up your power and assign control of your emotions to someone who doesn't deserve or want that. You're making me hurt right now. You're hurting me. Okay, is that just the weakest, passive-aggressivist, soyest, low-T thing you've ever heard in your life? Swooping dudes. Weesh. Instead of, I'm sorry you felt that way, but say, I'm sorry. Because an apology with qualifications and blame shifting isn't an apology. It's cringe, insecure, and weak. That's insecurity. My ego is so fragile I can't say sorry. Even if I don't mean it. Who cares? Just sorry. It's not going to hurt you. And the other person might really want to hear it. Do you want to be persuasive, or do you want to be... I don't even know what the opposite of it is. If you're anti-persuasive but you feel good about yourself, then you don't feel good about yourself. I don't know what to tell you. Instead of, what did you do that for? Say, I'm... and then a description of what happened to you and what you need help with. Because assigning agency to accidents is a great way to make someone feel defensive when they would have wanted to help clean up the mess they made. Great for working with toddlers and kids, by the way. Instead of, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you said that. Say, did you say, repeat what they said. I was curious what you meant by that. Because guilt is leverage that doesn't last. As goes the guilt, so goes the whole relationship. Instead of, that's not what I said, and you know that's not what I meant. Say, I'm sorry, I didn't intend to come across that way. Can we have a do-over? Because the worst way to follow up with offending someone is to try and fail to gaslight them. The onus is on you. Notice the objective here is to match, pace, and lead. Match them in their emotional experience, pace them for a little bit, and then lead them out of it. If they're angry at you, match, pace, lead out of anger into understanding. You can do this. This is not being a beta. This is getting shot in the face with a water pistol and standing there like Cary Grant. Sex icon. Okay? No one would have respect for the character if he reacted or lashed out to the child. Instead of, you shouldn't feel that way, say, I must have felt genuine emotion when the thing that happened. Because accurate empathy rebuilds connection. Insecure people get defensive and deny reality. Instead of, you're really overreacting here, say, I'm sorry, I really want to make it right. Because you can be right about the overreaction and wrong to call it out. Do you want love and intimacy, respect and honor, or wahaha, I won that argument? I mean, it's up to you, dude. Whatever. Instead of, I already said I was sorry, say, I'm sorry, that must have really hurt. Because rebuilding connection requires pacing the person you love so you can lead them back into harmony with you. Match, pace, lead. Instead of, you're just sensitive, you're paranoid, you're neurotic, say, what do you need? What can we do? Because denying someone's reality makes you their enemy. Don't make enemies where you otherwise had friends or family. Instead of, I don't want any drama, skip the guilt trip. Say, I'm listening. Because people that we accuse of drama often end up that way after being ignored by important people their entire lives. Don't let that be you. Skip the guilt trip. No, I'm kidding. Another one. Instead of, why do you keep doing that? It's like you're not even trying. Say, hey, mention one thing they did right, mention one thing they can correct next time, and then mention another thing they did right. The sandwich method works. Instead of, why didn't you tell me that sooner? Say, I had no idea. Thanks for sharing that. Here's what we'll do next time. Because defensiveness begets defensiveness. If there is a loser in the relationship, everybody loses. Show humility instead. Instead of the silent treatment, say, I'm feeling X. Because honesty about your emotions and owning those emotions gives the relationship a path back to harmony. If you want people to respect and honor you, if that's what you want to receive, then what you need to give is understanding and frame. Show that you understand their emotions and get how they feel. Say what you need to say in order to help them understand. Hold frame means show composure. Let them shoot you in the face with a water pistol. Stand there like a hoss, like Cary Grant, because it's nothing. It's just a little bit of water. Who cares? It's just a few emotions from your spouse, girlfriend, wife. Who cares? It's whatever. Why would you lash out at that? It's a child shooting you in the face with a water pistol. Why would you lash out at that? That's silly. You can stand there, get your napkin, wipe yourself off, keep going. Be attracted to the attractive ladies. It's only hard if you make it. Remember, you cannot persuade someone who is in a state of defensiveness. And what I've shared with you today will help your loved one get out of the state of defensiveness this holiday season and all year round. Daily Persuasion.